it's important to have the front forks working with the shock. So the first tip is going to be the levers, and it's first the basic stuff what you can change on the bike. So this one is the Brembo, it's coming with the bike, and this one is the flexible lever, and it's not easy to bend it because it's flexible. So if you use the open handguards, this is must, so get one. I'm going to show you how it's looking now on the bike, so let's go. So you see I use open handguards, and for this you need the flexible levers. So if you use the closed handguards, you can use the stock ones, but it's better to also have the flex levers. So also it's very important if you use the open handguards to have not too tight the front brake, also the clutch. So it needs to have some play like this. So when you ride, it's standing in one place, but when you crash, it's going up or just down. So if it's too tight, it's going to break here. Also the clutch is not tight. And I ride like this without any problems. So also it's important to have the levers in correct position. If it's too low, your arm is going to be like this and it's bending, so it's not good. And then you need to have elbows too much up, so that's not good. It needs to be in natural position where you can stand and sit without having any problems. So also for the control of the bike, it's really important to have the handlebar in the correct position. So if the handlebar is too much on the front, it's good for the standing and it's more easy to turn the bike. So if the handlebar is too much on the back side, it's good for the speeds, and it's also good when you are sitting just. So for the Enduro, it's maybe better to have it more up, but for me, I don't like it because when I ride the uphills, I'm sitting, so I like to have my handlebar more down and more to me, so I have more better control. Also on this bike, I have 2 holes to change on the triple clamps, and my handlebar is in the front hole, so it's more towards the forks, and I have really nice control over the bike. So also this handlebar, it's custom, it's not the stock handlebar what it's coming with the Sherco. It's rental twin wall 997, it's really wide and it's higher than the Sherco handlebar, and I like this band, so it's perfect for me. So you need to have also nice seat cover to give you maximum grip. So you see this one is really grippy and it's very nice for enduro training. It's saving your arms and your body. So on this bike the seat covers from Flu Designs, and it's really special because of this, I don't know how to name it, but grooves or stripes, and it's holding your butt to the seat. It's saving your body. So for the hard enduro, it's really important to have the carbon for the front pipe, because you know you hit a lot of rocks and it's damaging your pipe, and the pipe is really expensive, so the carbon is must to have to save your pipe from rocks. So the next thing is to have the clutch cover guard, because the rock can hit you in the clutch cover and the oil is going out, and then the riding day is gone, because it's not possible to ride the bike without any oil. So it's cheap, but it's working really good. Also, I have the same protections on my sister's KTM, and I'm going to show you. So on the KTM, we also have the carbon and the clutch cover guard, but this one is from aluminum, so it's stronger and better than the plastic. So this is making the heat from the clutch going outside, but the plastic on the Sherco, it's keeping the heat on the clutch, so that is not good. Also, this one is really strong, and it's made from the X grip. So for extreme enduro, it's really important to have the disc guard. So you see, this one is really abused from rocks and everything. It's made by X grip, and it's really strong because it's from one piece. On the KTM we have from one piece, but it's bolt-on, and it's not strong like this one. Sometimes it's bending, but this one is holding really nice. So this one is the front disc guard. It's not important, but it's good to have. It's going to protect your disc from mud and wet grass, so that can be useful, but sometimes it's not useful because the mud is getting stuck under this disc protection. Also on this bike you have fork shoes, this plastic thing, and it's protecting the forks when you hit on the rocks. So that is good if you want to have nice bike under the protections. So this is the skid plate from one piece, the plastic one. It's also having the linkage protection, what is really important on the Shercos, Husqvarnas. And on KTM it's not needed because the KTM don't has the linkage, because it's PDS system. So this is from plastic. It's really nice because when you hit the rock, it's just sliding. And if you have the aluminum one, it's sticking on the skid plate. So this is the front tubeless, but I'm using the tubeless in rear tire and the mousse just in the front. So it's really good to have the mousse in the front because you can't have the pinch flats and having problems with flat tire. So this is also front mousse. It's really big because it's for really fatty tire. And this is the front tubeless, but I'm not a fan of the tubeless for the front because you can have the pinch flats. But for the rear one, it's really nice because you can adjust the pressure, and yeah, it's nice system for the rear one. So I suggest you to get tubeless on the rear, and for the front the mousses. It's nice system because it's giving you option to run like 1 bar inside, half bar, and almost 0, what is really amazing because that is allowing you to get maximum grip on the tire. So it's really nice system. So I suggest you to try this one and you're going to be really happy. I'm going to talk about the suspension. So for me the suspension is really important for riding. So on this bike I have the Kayaba suspension, and the shock suspension did modifications and made my Kayaba really soft, and I'm really happy with that setup. I'm going to show you how to adjust the suspension. So on the top, on this Kayaba, you have compression, like from the soft to the hard. But here is one problem. You see, it's almost not possible to make settings with a screw, and it's really hard. So you can try, but yeah, it's working and it's not, and you damage the top of the cap. So I found on eBay you can get another cap what is making the adjuster like on the KTM. So I'm going to show you now how it's looking on the KTM. So on the KTM you have these nice adjusters. You can turn it with the hand, you see, and one click back, and it's really nice. So maybe I will get this for the Sherco also, but I'm going to see. The next important thing is to bleed the forks. Yeah, I do it like every time when I go for the ride. So you just take small screwdriver and loose the bolt, and the air is going to go out and you're going to hear it. In that way it's going to make the forks more soft and it's going to work more better for you. So under the fork you are going to see the screw. It's made for the rebound adjuster. So in this way you are going to adjust rebound. So that means when the fork is compressed, how much time it needs to be back in the stroke. I like to have the rebound really fast like this, but if it's too fast, it's also not good because you lose the traction with the ground. So you need to find some setup what is going to work with you, to don't lose the balance on the bike, but also the traction with the ground. So I like to have the forks also soft with the faster rebound, but it's also depending which terrain I ride, because sometimes I like the slower rebound to have, so it depends. But I'm going to show you after how the soft my bike really it is. So on the rear you have also the compression adjuster. It's this one in the middle, but you also have the slow adjuster and high adjuster for the compression. And under the you have the also rebound adjuster, and you also adjust the spring to make the correct sag on the bike. So I like to have the rear shock also soft. Some guys like the hard one settings, but I don't, because when the bike is really soft you can play with the bike or the rocks, logs and everything. The hard setup is just good for the speed. So if you race the extreme enduro, it's better to have the soft bike. It's not exhausting your body really, and it's saving your body. And for the prologues, for the races, you can turn a few clicks inside and have the harder bike. Also on the Kyaba, when you turn one click, it's making huge difference. But on the KTM with WP, it's not making that difference. So make sure when you change the setup, you make some notes so you can know what setup you have now and what you had before, and what was working better for you. So also I'm going to show you how to inspect if the suspension is working good. It's important to have the front forks working with the shock. So you press the bike in middle and the forks need to go inside. If the forks stand but the shock is going inside, then the front forks are not good. So let's try. So you see the front forks are going inside. Also you can press the foot pegs to inspect that. So yeah,